In this video, we're going to discuss how variables and arguments work from within functions. To start, let's go over here and create a new function. I'm going to create a function here. I'm going to call it def my function. No arguments, colon right there, and we'll immediately indent underneath there. Now, inside of a function, you can place any type of statement you want. In the previous video, we just had print statements, but really we could have anything we'd like inside of here. So let's write a program here, and we're going to say name is equal to input of what is your name, like that. Looks good. And then I can print out, thanks, comma, name. Okay, pretty simple program. We're using the input function suser for a name, and then we're printing that name back out to the user. Now we've created this variable called name inside of this function, which means that this variable is going to be set equal to the return value of the input function, and this variable is considered what we call a local variable. Any function that is defined or created inside of a function is considered local to that function. And what that means is that variable is really a temporary variable. It only exists while the function is executing. And at the end of the function, when we've reached this last line of the function, the variable no longer exists. It evaporates. It's actually reclaimed by the operating system, and the memory is cleared and is available for other aspects of your program. So a local variable only exists during the period in which the function is actively running. So that's not a problem here because I'm creating the variable and then I'm referencing the variable here. And if we run this program, go down here and I can call my function like that. Remember that we have to call the function after we've declared it. And we're going to run this program now. We can see here I can type in my name and it says thanks Craig, and that's all well and good. Now why is this important? Well, if I go down here and I say print name is comma name, this is actually a problem because let's try to trace this program. We start off, we define the function. So we don't really do anything. We just make a note that yes, eventually, if we call this function, we're going to jump to this line. We go down here. We actually call the function, which means we temporarily jump up here. We create a variable called name and set it equal to whatever the user types in, and we print it out. Function ends, so we jump back down here to this line, and then we continue executing. And here, we're printing name is comma name. Now, you would probably expect, without knowing anything about function mechanics, that at this point, this line would probably be okay because the variable name was created prior to us landing on this line. But in actuality, this is going to cause a runtime error. So when I run this program, you're going to see over here, I type in my name, and it's going to say traceback name is not defined. And the reason why name is not defined is name was considered local. It was created from within this function. It was temporarily used within the function. And once the function finished, the variable name no longer exists. So it's local and it's temporary, and it's only used within the function for a certain period of time. So what this means is this situation is perfectly valid. I'm going to do a function here called def fun1. And inside of fun1, I'm going to make a variable called x is equal to 100 and print x. And def fun2, I'm going to say y is equal to 200, print y. I'm sorry, not y. We're going to set those to the same name, x. And x there, great. And then I can call fun1, and I can call fun2. So you can see here, I've got a variable x, and then I've got another variable x. And you'd think that they're the same variable and they're actually going to overwrite each other, but they're not. This variable x is declared inside of fun1. It's temporary, it's local, it only exists for the purposes of this function, and when we're all done, there is no more variable x in our program. Variable x no longer exists. So you are able to have two variables with the same name existing within two different functions, and they have no relationship to each other whatsoever. So that's a local variable. So let's go on and talk about arguments then. So we've been using arguments again since the beginning of the semester. So here's an example. If I say x is equal to the len of Python, the length function is accepting the argument of the string Python right here. It's then counting those numbers and it's returning the value in the variable and storing the result in the variable x. So the argument is this part right here, the part that goes inside of the parentheses. What we can do in Python is we can write our own programs and our own functions that accept arguments, and then we can use those arguments as part of the function. So I'll give you an example here. Let's write a function. We're going to say def add2. So we're going to write a function called add2, and this function is going to add 2 to whatever number we want. Okay? So add 2, and we need to know what number we're going to be adding to. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a variable inside of here. I'm going to call it number, like that. So inside of the parentheses, what I did is I put the name of a variable. This is an argument variable. And what happens is Python will create this variable for you when a function is called. So let's write our function. Def add2. Add2 is going to receive one argument in the form of this variable called number. And then if we want to add 2 to that number, we could print out the number plus 2. There we go. So let's run our program now. If we want to call the function add2 is expecting us to send it one value. So we're going to send the number 7 into this function. So what's going to happen here? Define the function, don't do anything. Jump down here, call the function, send it the value 7. The value 7 will be placed into the variable number. Number is a local variable. It's created for you the moment the function begins. And then we're going to print out number plus 2. Well, number is the number 7, so we should expect to see the number 9 come out of this function. Let's go ahead and give it a try. And we see the number 9 here. So the cool thing about this is we can call this function any number of times, and every time we call it, the function will start over at the beginning, accept whatever value we're sending to it, and then utilize that value during the calculation of the function. Check this out. What if I did this? For I in range 5, add 2i. So what are we doing here? Enter into a loop that's going to loop 5 times. Call the add2 function, sending the iterator value into the function. So the first time we're going to send the number 0 in there. 0 goes into the variable number. Print out 0 plus 2. We should see the number 2. Finish with the function. Loop iterates. We now have the number 1. We're going to add 2 and we're going to send the number 1 inside of here. 1 goes into the variable number. We print out 1 plus 2. We see the number 3, so on and so on. So we run this thing, and we should see all those numbers plus 2. So when using arguments inside of our function definitions, what we can do is we can accept values from the outside world, create local variables, and then utilize those local variables in a calculation.